Hey guys, so today we are going to be working on the matrix practice. All right, so here we are going to be working on this matrix. So we have rows and then we have columns, which we are going to be reading out from. So here we have an example of what a row is and what a column is. All right, so read this, understand what is asking of us, and then if not, let's go and explore what the test is asking us to do. So as usual, I am using Sublime, so feel free to use your own editor. And this is the test, and this is the partial solution. So we have to implement all this to pass. All right, so here we have a matrix. So we are essentially trying to determine if it's a row or if it's a column. All right, so here, for example, we have this, and I am going to explore how to break this up. All right, so this is what we have, and I can use the method split, and that would give us split it up using the new line. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is break it up so they are all integer, because right now if I just try to convert x into int, it can't convert that. Okay, so what I want to do here is create a list within a list, so I have another list there, and then I say for every for every character basically within our string, go ahead and split that. All right, then the result of that split we can convert to an integer. So that gives us that. So that is more of the structure that I was hoping to get. So I'm just going to copy this and use that in our solution. So this is the matrix string we're going to get, and I'm going to put this into self matrix instance variable, and now I'm going to substitute our a, so it's matrix string. So just going to copy that, put that in there, double check and split that. Every new line will be split. All right, so now this goes into x. All right, so we then go ahead and we split the x. So split will give us all the blank space, and then we convert that to an integer. So that will give us a list within a list. All right, so this is what we're going to be using. So just so we can have a visual of what we're working with. So this is what we're working with here. I'm going to copy this over. So within self.matrix, we're going to have something that looks like that structure. So this is an instance variable, which means we can access it from other methods. All right, so let's have a look and see what a row is. So this is a row, and that's another row, and that's another row. So in effect, what we're looking at here is each of this, right, is a row. Okay, so the index of this would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So that means that we can use a -1 on the index. So for example, I can say self.matrix, and I say index -1. Okay, so this is 0. So if we have a look here, we're only requesting for row 1, row 2. So those are not indexed. So I'm going to comment out everything to do with column and just leave the rows on, and just do a pi test on that. Okay, so all the problems with rows now go green. So that means we are able to read rows. So let's have a look at the columns. So columns in this case would be, for example, this is the second column, which would be index 2 - 1 in array world. So again, I could loop through each of our values above, and then I'll say give me the index -1. All right, so that if I want to get all these ones here, for example, so those will be index 2 - 1 or value 2 number 1 -1. All right, so let's have a look. So here we have the different columns being requested. And if we run that, that would all be green. All right, so that basically means that we've solved all the problems, but there's a few things I'd like to change. This is slightly more becoming more complex to read. What if I were to rename this and give it a name such as to int? That's really what we're doing, just converting that to an integer. And I can have a method here called to int, and this will accept a variable. I'll just change this to string. Okay, so it matches up. So that's it. So now when we run this, we should have all green still, and now it should be easier to read. Okay, so that is splitting new lines, and that's doing all the work. And this is, go ahead and pause and replay if anything is unclear. So let's go ahead and submit this. All right, let's view other people's solutions and learn from it. So this bit is really important. This is where I kind of speed up my learning process just by seeing what I missed. All right, so this guy is using split lines, cool, which is, you know, a different way of saying split by new line. Good to know. Then it's iterating over strings and doing a further split. And then similar method here is used to return values, which is actually quite neat. All right, so this is again similar split lines, and then goes over each character, splits, and explicitly saying, you know, empty space, which is done by default. And again, we have similar methods here. Okay, and let's have another look. Let's have a look here. So this one is really cool. So it's using map, which you should check out if you haven't. I did already. So this is int, and it's going to convert that to integer immediately. That's awesome. That's actually a neater way of doing it. And then we have the similar way of tracking things down and returning the index position, and using a range here to go over the list of matrix. Okay, so yeah, so it's good to read this, check it out, and that's it for this one, guys. I will see you in the next challenge.